Hi, everybody. We're going to start with the words and signs for the prayer song. So let's get started. We're going to first talk about you. And we're talking about you, we mean God. So we're going to point up. You, and then we're talking about how he speaks. So for speak, we're going to put 4 fingers up and just tap them on our chin, almost as if we're speaking. And we're going to talk about 100 billion. So for billion, we're going to make a B, and then we're just going to almost jump this B on our hand to show a bunch of billions. And galaxies. For galaxies, we're going to put our fingers up almost as we're making a W, and then just make a world as galaxies. And then born. For born, we're going to lay our hand out and take our other hand from our stomach and lay it out as it is being born. Awesome. We're going to then talk about vapor. And for vapor, it's almost like we're holding something and we're just going to let it go up, almost like it's smoke. And then we're going to talk about, again, you. So we'll point up to God. And then breath. So for breath, we're just going to do like some breathing motions with our hands. Awesome. And then planets again, we'll do the world. And then we're going to talk about the stars. So for stars, we're just going to point our fingers and just make like almost shooting stars. And then we're going to talk about how they worship. So for worship, we're just going to cup our heart. We're worshiping. And when we talk about ourselves, so we're just going to point to ourselves. Awesome. For C, we're going to put our 2 fingers just a little bit away from our eyes and just bring it down. Like we see your heart. So for heart, we're just going to tap our heart. And then everything. For everything, we're just grabbing something and then we're just going to show it. We're showing everyone everything. And then we're talking about everything God has made. So for made, we're just going to, almost like we're making something, like in a pot. So just made. And then we're going to talk about burning. So for burning, just make like fire motions with your hands. Burning, star, you know this one. Fire again. And then grace. Going to hold your hands under your chin and just breathe it out, almost like, you're breathing out grace. Awesome. And for creation, we're just going to tap our head and we're just going to make little circular motions, almost as if we're thinking and making it a reality for creation. And then praises, we're just going to put our finger over our mouth and then make little claps because we're giving our praise to God. And then again, we will point to ourselves. Awesome. So that is halfway through. And we're just going to learn a few other words that may be a little different. So for failure, you make almost this funny little K. Then you're just going to slide it across your hand like so. So failures and then disappear. For disappear, we're just going to have our hand out and our other finger, and then we're just going to drop like it disappears. We're also going to talk about loss. So for loss, it's almost like we're holding something and then we lose it. So we'll just drop it. We lost. Life, for life, we're going to make 2 L's and just bring it up our body. And then find. For find, it's almost like you see something and you just pick it up. We find it. And here, we're just going to almost make circular motions with our hands. We found it here. Good job. And for left, again, we're just going to throw it away. It's like we left. We're going to talk about the grave. So the grave, we're almost making 2 little caves, like we're Jesus' grave, and then we're going to talk about behind. So we're going to do 2 thumbs up, 1 in front, and then go behind. And then we're also going to talk about how everything you've done. So for done, we're almost going to make this D, and then we're just going to put our finger down, like we did something. And we're going to also talk about every part. And so for part, we're just going to put our hand out and just almost make these to show this little part that we have. And then work, we know this one. And then love, for love, super easy. Just give yourself a big squeeze because God loves you so much. Then we're going to talk about how he chose. So for chose, we're just putting our hand out and we're just choosing a finger. We chose, and then surrender. Surrender, we're also giving ourselves a big squeeze and then breaking free. And then we're going to talk about precious. And for precious, we're almost making this claw and we're putting it under our chin and then just bringing it to our heart because it's so precious. We're going to talk about 1, so just hold up your 1. And then child. For child, we're just going to tap, almost like we're tapping heads of children. And then for save, it's just like surrender. So we're just going to give ourselves a squeeze and open up. Almost there. And for gave, almost like we're holding something and we're just giving it. Gave. And then At the end, we're going to talk about, again, your. So we're going to point up to God. And then the one who never. So for never, it's almost like we're making this question mark, but we're saying he never. So he never leaves. So just throw it away again. And then, like we know this one, the one behind. And that's it. Let's get started.